Well, I've got Sidra from Atoms with me today. Sidra, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
I am doing well. It's a slow morning, but also like so much pressure of work in the US. So I think it's going well so far. I don't know what day gonna bring, but it's good so far.
That's great. Very excited to chat about Atoms, and I know we have a lot of people tuning in today. So it'd be great to start with a small intro for those who don't know. What is Atoms? What's the product that you offer today? And really, what's the founding story of the business? How did this come together?
Yeah, so Atoms is a sneaker company, but we are actually based in New York. We moved from San Francisco to New York in 2019 to start Atoms here. And our mission is to make absolute best product that can bring joy in people's everyday life. That's where we are focused on. So we launched our sneaker in 2019. Then, in order to address pandemic, we launched our mask. And in 2020, which were like another hit product. And I just want to remind everyone here that Atoms still is a very young company. We launched in June 2019, and then right after that we entered into the pandemic. So it was like a lot of interesting shift happened inside the company and the business. But yeah, here we are right now. A lot of celebrities are wearing our product organically, and we have been able to grow really fast as a company. But inherently, we are very, very small right now as a team.
That's great. So in terms of Atoms, you started the business right originally, not in the U.S., right? You started, I think, in Pakistan, and then moved the company over. What's the story behind that? How did that happen?
Yeah, so Atoms is my second shoe company. My first shoe company is Markhor. And right now we have a team in Pakistan who is running that company. So I started my journey with shoes in 2009, end of 2009. And then we launched Markhor in 2000. Actually, the name of Markhor was Hometown. And then we changed the name to Markhor, and we launched that on Kickstarter campaign, and we were able to raise $107,000 on Kickstarter at that time, and then we applied into Y Combinator, and that's how we came to the US. And then when we were here, people loved our story. They loved the idea of craftsmanship. They loved that we are so much focused on product. But one thing we noticed was people were not wearing our product as much. Even in YC circle, we have many founders and partners who bought Markhor shoes, but we did not notice them wearing as much. So the question of like this idea was always like in our mind. We were asking this question to ourselves: why people are not wearing our shoes? And then the first finding was, okay, people actually are becoming a lot more casual. They want to have like a lot more comfortable shoes, and we were focused on leather dress shoes in Markhor. So then we started actually doing a lot more research in the US, like what is the future of the shoes? If we need to design an ideal everyday shoes, what that would be. So actually, my journey starting from Pakistan was very interesting. I think I shared that story on. I don't know if you have read that story on Humans of New York, but I shared that part of my story over there. And everything happened organically. And the reason we started Atoms was because the idea of making ideal everyday shoes was always in our mind, and we wanted people to wear our shoes. And when we noticed that dress shoes is basically very, very particular for special occasion, and we are trying to and create a different type of product. Then we decided to go and launch Atoms.
And what was the R&D process for that like, to develop an everyday shoe that people love?
Very, very extensive, actually. And Mikhail, this is really good question, because we spend, so we started talking to our customer end of 2017. And then we were just going to Stanford Mall, to different brands, high-end sneaker brands, all of them. We were just going over in those shops and just looking at what people are buying. And that was the only thing for us which we were trying to notice. We were talking to managers, we were talking to customers, trying to understand like where shoe market and shoe business is going. And then we identified that, as I mentioned, that people wanted to buy something which they can wear all day, which is very, very comfortable. So once we understood that, then we tried to like narrow down our research. Okay, what are the companies who are famous for making casual, comfortable shoes? And then we started going to all those stores. Me and Makas, we used to go in those stores over the weekend on Saturday, and we will just go and if we will notice like someone who was wearing really nice dress, or someone who is like focused, who is whole dressed up in some kind of like detail. We were noticing, for example, watch or shoes, or like particular type of style of shoes, or any type of different type of color. We will just go to that person and we'll start talking. And the questions were like, hey, we are a student, and we are doing some research, and we want to know like what you are trying to buy. And the person would say, I am buying a shoes which I can wear all day. I'm buying a shoes where I don't need to tie my shoelaces. I'm buying a shoes where my shoes does not smell. I'm buying a shoes which where fit is like really, really good. So we started making a lot of notes, and then we created a Google document, and we named that Google document Ideal Everyday Shoes. And we had no idea how we're gonna make it. And then we started like meeting with people. At the same time, we were working in on Marcor, but at the same time, we were doing this research and had no idea like how we gonna launch it. But anyways, fast forward, we met with Vikas and I. We had like our some saving, which we actually invested on this project, because in Marcor at the time we had the money that can help us go through next 3 months, and our visas were about to expire. So like high pressured environment at that time. But anyways, we got connected to someone who worked in Patagonia, and was running his studio in Oakland. And that guy, we explained to him about this idea. He said, okay, I can help. And then we kept working for many, many months, and we were not being able to get anywhere. And I called him one day and I said, hey, I just want to be very honest. We are not getting anywhere. And this project is so important for us, and we really want to launch it. And I explained to him all the challenges we were facing along. And I said, like, you yourself is a founder. Like how much it takes in order to build something. um, I would really appreciate if you can let me know someone who we should talk to. And then he kept listening and listening, and then at the end he said, okay, I know someone in Portland who you should go to and talk. And I took a flight, went to Portland, and then had a conversation. She was running her material studio in Portland. She helped us connecting with a designer who was working in Korea. With some factories, and then that's how like we started working on the prototype of the project. And when we met the designer, he said like the most important thing you need to figure out right now is who should be the partner who can make the shoes. Because a lot of like the idea that you have right now, a lot of factories, they are working with big brands. There are very few who are willing to invest on small companies, something which is an ideation stage. And also like it depends on who can make this product. So that's how like we connected with one person, another person, and then eventually we were able to like make the first sample. I remember we were sleeping. We were in our San Francisco apartment, and we were sleeping when we heard the note that we have a parcel, and the first sample arrived and I can't explain to you the joy, because you have been working on that research and project for last 2 years, and then now you are seeing the actual sample. We tried on the shoes and they were like so comfortable, and then we started sending emails to some YC founders. At the time we were part of Y Combinator. And we sent an email and we said, we are making shoes for hackers and painters. We have only size 10.5. If your shoe size is 10.5, we would love to invite you at our home. So 179 people replied, and 20 people were with that criteria who had 10.5 size. So we invited those people at our home one by one, so that we can have personal, one-on-one conversation with that person. And we invited them for Pakistani chai and breakfast, and we were having conversation about shoes, not only shoes but about their lifestyle, also about like what type of other product they wear. So the conversation becomes so interesting that whenever they were coming to our home, they were saying, oh, we have like 20-30 minutes. And then we most of the conversation were like for 1 hour or 2 hours. And then at the end, when they were trying on the shoes, they were like, oh my God, this is so comfortable. Like their expression would change. They would start bouncing on their heel, and they would say, this is, I don't know, I just want to jump. Like this is so comfortable. And then I remember that right after that, many of them they started sharing that on Twitter, on Instagram, that hey, this is a new company coming up. These are the founders who are working on some very unique idea and very unique product. So like at the time, I think what happened was we were not planning on what we had not planned like what will happen next, but organically a lot of people started asking us, hey, we want to buy, how we can get the shoes, how we can even get the sample. You don't need to worry about the packaging, just give us like in your sample box. And then fast forward few months, investors started coming to our door, and we had our office in our apartment's basement, literally like it was a basement next to the garage in San Francisco. And we had a lot of big celebrities, a lot of investor came to that basement. We have like I was looking at an old picture yesterday with one of my team member, and I was showing him, and he was like, oh my God, this person showed up in your basement. And I said yes. And we were able to like raise our first seed round. Ep4 invested in our seed round, and then Alexis Ohanian, he invested and led our Series A.
That's great. So in terms of moving sort of from Pakistan, where you were born, educated, where you first discovered chai maybe, and moving to the US, what were some of the immediate tangible benefits of being an entrepreneur in the US? What did the US offer to, an entrepreneur that, today may not be available in Pakistan?
Yeah, I don't know like if it's not available now in Pakistan, because I think like in Pakistan right now, like there are so many changes happening in the ecosystem, and there are a lot of investor investing in Pakistan. Even like most of our investor who invested in Atoms, and they never invested before in Pakistan, they are investing, and they are very, very excited about the market. But in our days, when we started actually in 2009. This type of environment, this type of ecosystem was not there. I remember we had a lot of conversation in Pakistan with few investors, and they were asking like, hey, we will invest in your company, but we want like 70 to 80% of the shares in your company. So the concept of like how you actually help a founder and entrepreneur in order to build a large and scalable business was not there. So I think like that dynamic has changed a lot, and I feel like that people like Ep4 had done a lot in order to create that awareness in the ecosystem. For us, like I think. We actually launched uh, our shoe business online website in Pakistan first, and we said like, hey, we are gonna take all the orders from Pakistan. It was 2009, and and that should be okay. But then no one bought shoes from us. Quickly we learned about that, and then we said, okay, website is, it's an online store, so it's open for everyone. Anyone can buy. And within a week, someone bought our Peshawari chappal from France, and that is now Atom's customer. Um, he's yeah, so he paid actually more than the actual price, and he said, I want to help you guys because I have been following you guys on social media, and seeing that you are trying to build something, and I love this design, and I want to like support you. So we started with that type of environment. So I don't know, like for in our case, I think wherever we are, it's organically happened. Like we were looking for opportunity, we were looking for right people, we were looking for customer in order to build our business. So wherever we at the time felt that if we will go and direct ourselves towards this market, I think that led us where we are right now. So I think we are, it's like a very different case as compared to where Pakistani market is right now.
Well, that's great. In terms of scaling the brand, right? You started off very manual, having chai with people, connecting, and you've maintained a lot of that spirit over time, that personal connection. How have you scaled that now that you have, thousands of customers instead of just that first 20 that came to your house?
Actually, Mikal, this is a really important question, and I'm glad you asked this because we are trying to answer this question right now in our company too. And we actually we had Atom's values that we introduced when we launched our company, but now we are actually looking a lot more deeply into Atom's value, and we want to like talk a lot more with our team members. So one value of Atoms is hospitality, and that is a core value of our brand. Um, and we take it really, really serious. Hospitality is not like when someone shows up to at your door. It's not that only. It's like when people come to you in any capacity, when they are reaching out to you on social media, when they are using your product, when they are interacting you where you are not like it itself there, but you have created a system, for example, your online website, how you actually create an experience for your customer that they feel welcomed, they feel someone is taking care of them, they feel that someone has designed something for them, is an integral part of our brand. So scaling it really, really hard, but I think if you make it part of your DNA, I think it can be taken care by itself. For example, right now, even we have our actually office in Brooklyn Navy Yard, and we also launch an art gallery where people can book the people can book their visits in order to visit that art gallery. There is a show right now happening with this artist. His name is Erison Lex. Even though Vakas and I are not there, but the team, the warehouse team, the way they will welcome those people who are coming over there, it's important. That's how like you make sure that it goes beyond like just the founder phenomena. I think making something part of your DNA and talking about this over and over again, that's the way you can scale it, and how you create the actual process and system around that.
I'm just curious, within the context of Atoms, did coming from Pakistan, growing up there, how did that inform the business plan, the product? How did that help strengthen the business?
Actually, a lot, because I think Vikas and I, when you are actually moving from one culture to another, and you have to learn and adopt to new norm, you are more likely to be open-minded. You are more likely to learn and move forward quickly as compared to other people who have like just one cultural window. And particularly coming from Pakistan, I think we, especially in my and Wakas's case, we are not just like from big cities of Pakistan. We are from small towns of Pakistan. So I don't know like how much the awareness about this, but like if you are moving from small town to a big town, it's already a big shift for someone who's coming from that section, that part of Pakistan. So we came from small town to big city of Pakistan. Then we went into Y Combinator, which is like a very elite technology accelerator. So a very big change, and sometimes like I feel like there are small shocks in our memory because of like how delta of our life have been, and then. And then from San Francisco to New York, another big city, and then establishing your business here, and then raising such a big round, and also not from from just like normal VCs. There are like a lot of big celebrities who have invested in our company, and then at the same time building a team here, and now we are making an effort in order to go and become a more culturally relevant brand in New York. So all of those things, I think we would not have been able to do that if we would not have gone through coming from a different background, coming from a different culture, and not have that openness where we are willing to learn and where we have willingness to change and adopt. So I think that our culture, like coming from two background, gave to you. The other part is, I think, hospitality. Again, I'm bringing it because when we were talking about, hey, we have to like lay down Atom's values. We were thinking about, okay, what are the core values Vikas and I carry on? And then we learned that hospitality is that thing which we don't know. Like it's not like something we adopted. It's just like we carried on through our culture. Like anyone who ever visited Pakistan knows that people in Pakistan are very, very hospitable. And I think like this is the same thing. Like any friend, any Atoms customer, whoever visited our office, whoever visited us in our home, we make sure that they feel that this they are at some place where someone is taking care of their smallest need. Like Vikas and I, even we would like to take care of when you arrive, your chai needs to be hot. Your water temperature should be right, and your chai and your water needs to be on a side of the table where it's reachable to you. It should not be like you are bending over. So things like that, we actually pay a lot of attention, and I think this all is a gift from the culture where we are.
So, in terms of the next products, can you give us a tease of what might be dropping soon?
All right, I need to think about this because definitely new things are coming up, and some interesting and big partnerships are coming up this year. So this year is going to be very, very exciting. I cannot share a lot more, but only like these things that yes, new products are coming up and very exciting products are coming up and very exciting partnerships are coming up. You will see Atoms on a I would say like on a next stage, on a bigger stage.
So everyone should join the mailing list and follow the Instagram so we can hear these updates.
Absolutely.
So switching gears a little bit and transitioning back to Pakistan, last year was a really landmark year for the ecosystem. $380 million invested, which is more than the last 6 years combined. So Pakistan's really having its moment, and there's a lot of excitement. And, I'd love to hear from your perspective what has changed in the country compared to when you first tried to build a company there back in 2012.
Yeah, I think lots of good news coming from Pakistan, and companies are not only raising money, but they are actually building a very solid business. It's not like just sometime you hear kind of like hype. It's not a hype. Actually, people are really building tangible businesses, product and services. I think as I mentioned, that when we start there were like few things. One is like investor who were there at the time, they were not, I think, in sync with how they want to like think about business building. They were just thinking about that, okay, how they can take a big share in the company. And then I think the idea of believing, the idea of trust, I think it was like not being shaped in a form which is right now. So, for example, like, hey, if you are investing in someone, it's not like, hey, you always gonna get 10x or more than that. It's not about that. Many times it's about investing in the right talent, believing in that right talent. I think I see a lot more those type of things happening, and because of that belief and because of that trust, founders, Pakistani founders, they are being able to build companies in a way that was not been built before. And also, like, investors who are investing in Pakistan, they are not just like investing and dumping money. They are helping founders in order to how, think about the strategy with respect to not only Pakistan, but how they can expand their business out of Pakistan too. Like, once their product have a product market fit, how they can take their business in different region of Middle East or in Africa. I think I have been seeing that type of trends too. So like a lot of institutions are investing, a lot of expat Pakistani who are coming back. They are investing in Pakistani market, but also bringing a lot of knowledge and experience with themselves, and they are spending their actual time inside the company in order to build that a big business. So I think that's a huge shift. It's the same thing. For example, when we were optimizing our investment here in Silicon Valley, we were not looking for the money. We were looking for the right experience. We were looking for someone who is willing to go beyond, putting beyond like investment of the money inside the company, is willing to work with the founders like a team member, like can make an intro, believe that much that that person can make an intro in a way that this business really means something, and he is really putting that type of effort and energy in order to take it forward. So I see that type of change a lot in Pakistan. And I was, when I was in Pakistan, I actually visited, particularly I want to mention here Aimfit. And I was not being able to like meet a lot of other founders because we took 4 weeks break, and we decided that we're going to spend most of time with our family. We were visiting Pakistan after 3 years, but I was able to like visit Aimfit, and I was, oh my god, like the whole experience they have created in Lahore. I think being a female, I think I felt like that space for myself. I felt that if I would be living in Pakistan, I'll definitely go that space. And the team energy, founders energy, and I also met with some of their customers who were, coming out of one of their class. So AimFit is basically a fitness center, and they also have their own digital platform. You can actually buy a subscription and take their classes. So I met with some of their customers too, and the excitement and joy on their face was tremendous. Like I think they are building something amazing. So being able to see that, experience that place, is also like see that how the team and the founders and the customers are interacting and building something amazing was fabulous.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm very excited about the future of Atoms and of Pakistan, obviously. And for everyone listening, sign up for the newsletter, follow the Instagram. Big updates are coming in this year, and I'm excited to see them myself.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me.